So on the bridge, the crew comes to a decision to fire up the shields. They narrowly missed disaster. Was it good decision making?
This warp signature's also got a pretty weird signal variance.
Pretty weird.
Recommend deflector shields to full. No health from the surface.
Okay, hold up.
Sub-
So here, La'an recommends shields go up. Shields do not immediately go up. They discuss it first.
Space chatter, no interplanetary traffic.
Any obviously defensive posture is in direct violation of first contact protocol.
What's your point?
These people aren't showing any signs of local space colonization.
Which puts them a century behind constructing warp drives.
Yet they have a warp signature.
A nascent one.
The anomaly is a red flag.
Captain, there is not sufficient...
Activate deflector shields.
Aye. Reading multiple launches from the surface.
That's a pretty chunky delay.
That was a pretty chunky delay. And they fired from the surface right when they raised the shields. But, we're talking plus or minus 30 seconds here. 30 seconds earlier, they're in trouble.
Less than that. It was plus or minus like 5 seconds. If this conversation had gone a little bit longer, they would have had those missiles, torpedoes, whatever they were. Those would have splashed directly on the hull.
Right. Was it worth it to press La'an on her reasoning and cause the delay?
Why not just be more defensive and say, my security officer says shields up, shields up.
Shields up. We can do a post-mortem, a debrief later on her reasoning, but she said shields up, shields up. I think that would be my move as the captain, but it does seem like it's a big decision to raise the shields. It creates an animosity in a first contact scenario that they're not looking for. So somehow it's a bigger decision than just trusting your security person.
You're saying an animosity because this planet, who you're hovering over, they're like, why are you raising your shields? It's like putting your hands up effectively.
Yeah.
But what if Starfleet just said we run with shields all the time because there's space debris, so we just keep the shields up all the time, right? As in Aliens, would you see someone come up with shields? You're like, they just have shields up all the time. All right.
It makes sense to me. If I'm a soldier and I put on my body armor and I need to go talk to some civilians, me having the body armor, does that mean that puts the civilians on edge a little bit, because they're like, this could potentially be a combat scenario, right? It's something is unsafe. They have the body armor on.
How about if I get in my car and I lock the doors right away? I just always have my doors locked. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna lock it if I see someone on the street.
Right, always have it locked, so you don't have to lock when you see somebody, so they don't hear the click. They're like, what the.
I have a funny story, but maybe we should put that on Patreon or something. I have a messed up funny story. Yeah, so I guess if they see you raise your shields, then that's posturing. But if you have your shields on all the time, if I encountered the Ferengi and they just always have their shields on, maybe I could see it as their species is very defensive, a little timidness to it. Maybe that changes the dynamic. If I'm Klingon, oh, you already got shields up. I know what type of people you are, right?
Yeah, I think it's worth having the shields up because it's you get a little bit of tension raised, but it's worth it in my opinion. And it's not an offensive posture; it's defensive.
Right.
So I think it's worth it.
I like my explanation of, hey, there's cosmic rays all the time. All these particles zipping through the entire ship. We just keep our shields up all the time. Space travel is dangerous. Come on.
Yeah.
I think that's a very easily explainable way.
Makes sense to me.
But close call. A few seconds later, these would have splashed on the hull.
That is right. All because
you're saying that the bridge procedure should be the security officer says shields, and the captain's like shields.
Kinda. When it's nice to have a discussion. It's nice to get the reasoning down. But I feel like that is more of a post-battle debrief. Okay, what happened?
Analysis
situation. So the next time we're better. Whereas in the moment, if everybody had to explain their reasoning and their specialty, it's okay, the bridge is in a committee meeting where we discuss everything. We have time problems. So raise when she says raise shields, they get raised. In my opinion, that's what I would do.
And everybody needs to get home, as the captain foreshadowed. Right? If I'm down, if I'm down in the lower deck somewhere, I want to hear those shields turn on very quickly. I want to be floating over this planet, like the shields just turned on. Like, something's happening.
That's right. Now imagine Ortegas is at the helm and she's like, I need to make a left turn. Can we make a left turn? It's like, you're at the helm for a reason.
Yep.
You need to just do it. You need to just make the left turn. Your call. You see this, right? Do it. Like, don't run it by the committee of the bridge.
Right.
And I see that in a similar fashion.
How about arming weapons, phasers and torpedoes? Could that be a bit slower?
I want to say it's got to go through the captain. So yeah.
But what if you see an opportunity where you could strike before the ship's shields turn on?
So this is where I think, they've run first contact scenarios, made mistakes in the past. And so certain things the crew has the power to do immediately, and other things the crew has to go through the captain for an order. And I would argue shields up is on crew can do whatever they want, and arming or doing weapons, because of the sensitivity of first contact scenarios, got to go through the captain. That's what I'm going
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay. So
what if you need a lunch break?
We've got to pee.
I got to
poop.
I got to
We
leave
gotta
my
poop.
station, run it past the commander.
Just drill a hole in my my chair so we go straight through.
Okay.
Not my problem.
I was gonna say like have like a bladder and a catheter. But no, you went for permanent damage to the chair. Like one day your crew assignment, you're gonna get somewhere else, and then somebody's gonna come into place and be like, "What the hell happened to my chair? Like, why is there a hole in it?"
Janitor's problem.
Shitty chair.
No, it's not. It's a shitty floor.
Shit-free chair at the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
All right.